Namaste and Namaste Shreya, and welcome to yet another edition of Bodhi Stree. This one is for August 2025. Today we have with us Shreya Sudhir. Welcome Shreya to this forum, which showcases Bodhi Stree, means Stree who have both, which means an understanding of the principles of the universe. And when we speak to Shreya, you would know why we have invited her onto this forum. So in a very brief way, I would say Shreya stands at the intersection of social work and corporate social responsibility and has created an impact which is phenomenal. And I would not go on and talk anything beyond this and have her tell us what has her journey been like. So thank you so much for coming over on this forum, Shreya. I'm so looking forward to hearing you. So the first question that I would have is that I know your life has been full of struggles in the beginning when you were a young girl, basically as a student. But very few people turn it totally into their purpose. So what was the turning point, or was there a turning point at which all of this just made sense in a way that you moved into social work and you've been able to create the impact that you've been able to till now?
So thank you, Swapnalekha, giving me this opportunity to sharing some internal stories and inspire others. And that is really great. Thank you so much. See, for me, turning point when I was realized that I'm not alone, right? The struggle is not mine alone. So many people sat there with me. At the age of 15 years, I realized for studying, completing 10th standard, it's a like, for me, the struggle, right? And when I received small help from Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited, and who supported my journey for education, and then I saw many mirroring the same countless others, right? Others are in the same journey, women, children, families who silently having the pain. At first, my fight was survival, but when I was saw, even small helps can change my life. So I thought, why don't I change somebody's life? And it started like that.
I want you
And
to
that
tell us what happened exactly, because I remember you told me you were in seventh grade and PPCL came, because I
yeah,
think all of us need to hear what CSR actually does for people's lives. So tell us about that.
okay. Yeah, so when I was a seventh standard and BPCL come to my schools and they were doing some scholarship examination and all. And I was not getting the good marks during seventh and eighth. So they only selected who are above 80 or 90% for the scholarship. And that one, and I just want that scholarship because I want to complete my 10th grade. And I was behind that people, and I just see that how they are approaching to other students. I'm average student during that time, and one guy I still remember, he don't have some certification and he drop out, and I was standing there only, so I want to give this exam, and thanks to them I passed that exam. And till 12th standard, BPCL gave me this scholarship, right? And that is actually the small help turn into my dreams, right? If they help me, right, why don't I help others and I can become that particular position? And that's the changing my life. And yes, so it's the journey began like this. So I turned my pain into the purpose, I struggle into the strength, and that's why the social work become integral part of my profession and essence of my life. So I thought that why don't I help others, like the people help me, and today I'm what I am because of somebody's small help become a big journey in my life.
You were a beneficiary once of a CSR scheme. So it must be so gratifying for you to see that you've been instrumental in extending that kind of thing to so many others in the world. Must be an extremely gratifying thing. So, but from a young girl carrying so many responsibilities, in fact, beyond your years, tell us something about your family also, so that we get the depth of the, what should I say, challenge that you were in at that time. And what guided you? Who was your inspiration? Where did you get the strength from to plow on? Like, for example, a seventh grader to get after a CSR manager and say, "Nahi, humko kaise bhi karke aap scholarship dijiye," even when you were not the top. Where did all this come from?
So the strength comes from my mother. Like she is a Bodhi Stree actually, right? At
Okay.
the age of, yeah, she faced a lot of hardship in her early life, and she was having the dignity. I still remember she told me the story about she's just 19 or 20-year-old and she's a seven pass only during that time, and how a non-government organization approached her, and then she did her study after her marriage also, right? She went for 6-month course and she became a social worker. So I don't remember what is mean by actually the social work, that word actually, right? But then I want to become her the way she changed her life. And she is the one who gave me the strength. She is the one who always there for me, right? And I when I was 8 or 9 grade, and I was helping her for my responsibilities because she is the only one earning source member in my family, and I know that I have three siblings also, and I starting earning at the ninth standard 700 rupees per month, and I supported her. I still remember she always tell her, I don't want you work, right? You do study, right? You become my manager whenever my organization, she work with the NGOs, right? So she always tell, I want somebody like MSW, you come to work with me. And that struggle, that story actually really inspired. And I guided for my inner strength. uh, my mother can rise every day with the courage. And today also, at the age of 70-year-old, she's still managing her social work. She's doing some home visit. And so the strength is always there. And today I always believe, like I, like we call in Marathi, I, A matlab Atma, E matlab Ishwar, right? That I, mom is there, and that bodhitva coming from her. And today, I'm really happy when after 22 years, I'm heading the Pan India, I work with the grassroots, and that connect, I always there. That sympathy, empathy come from there. And that's why maybe I'm successful in today, because I understand the pain from where I came and where I have to lead the community also.
So that brings me to the next question, that you are a very fiery grassroots level worker. Still, in your heart of hearts, you're, when I've met you, I've seen how you feel for issues, you're a social worker at heart. But then you're also, you've headed CSR, which is a corporate function, which finds its place inside the board also, inside boardrooms also. How have you kept the balance? Because both are balanced and both have their hearts in probably different places. While the action is same, but the intent often is not the same. How did you manage this balance and actually get it right?
So see, grassroots taught me the humanity. It showed me the power of listening to women who walk mile away for taking the water from the location. The farmer who always leave at the mercy of the season. The children who dreaming the education. So it's come from the grassroots. But yes, the boardroom, the experience taught me that change must grow from the community itself. You should be connected with the community, right? You're sitting in the office, you will not have that the balance. But the corporate boardrooms, yeah, it's a taught me the strategy, the structure, and the scale. I learned resources, I learned policies, I learned leadership can accelerate the transformation from the grassroots and the boardroom, right? Data give me the language to influence the decision, and structure ensure sustainability. So see, again, I'm the person who always connected with the community. Maybe that's the reason I very firmly I can talk about the boardrooms. What are the requirements from the grassroots, and how align our program to the boardrooms? And when this both come together, it's a major impact we can showcase. I can remember like when I talk about our Green Army initiatives, right? And the program I crafted because I want to create the leaders on the ground.
Tell us
Sustainability
first
nothing new.
about the, just tell us
Okay.
first what is the Green Army initiative?
So Green Army, basically, see, I work almost 11 to 12 years with the corporate, 10 years with the non-government organization, and everybody talking about sustainability, right? Every buzzword sustainability. But I think this is nothing new in India, right? From our childhood, we are learning from our families and all. So what I want to create that leadership, that climate action, that environment, water conservation, everything comprised together for at the early age, 7, 8, and 9 grade. So this program I plan, I sit with the organization, I sit with the practitioners and all. I created that program. And I want to create the worldwide that don't sustainability in our blood, right? Till today, end of the like for like this is dupatta, right? I will wear this dupatta, but end of the day it will go for the pocha, right? I will not throw. I will make sure that it's end to end should be used, right? that circular economy in our blood. So I created that program, and I know what is exactly requirement from the ground, right? The school kids required. We don't have to train them after they're studying in their colleges and all. So that's the reason. Again, I will really happy to share one Bajra cookies project. Okay, so where
Wait,
I work with the
let me just ask you this one. So, what you're saying is that you believe that sustainability has to flow into our bloodstream. It's not like an initiative which has to be taken by people outside of their regular life. It has to be a part of life. So that
part of
you said that you decided that you would train grades 8, 9, 10 students on
right.
sustainable ways of living life. And you think that if every student who walks out of a school knows what sustainability is all about and how to live a life which is sustainable, you think that's the final solution. Education is the final solution than actually doing all this recycling, upcycling as a separate initiative in business. Is that what you're saying? So,
It's basically Lekha, basically the education when we are giving, right? Not only the education, but we starting with some practices also, right? Most of we work with the one more than 120 schools pan India. So we are not teaching them. We are giving the experience also. They collected plastic for the recycling. They list out the native plants. They did the plantation activity. So I think it's always connection with the grassroots, and sustainability is a boardroom thought process, right? So I aligned
now
it
I
together. That's I aligned it together, and more
okay.
than 15,000 students who certified with the Green Army initiatives.
Okay, so now I understand. So what you were saying is that change has to happen from within the community, and this has to be represented well as a boardroom agenda so that it gets funded for that. And that is what creates true impact in the society, is what you're saying. Now tell us, yeah, I know, tell us about the Bajra Cookie Initiative.
So Bajra cookies, see, I was visited in Rajasthan, Badmer is a very interior and all, and I spoke with the women's groups and all, right? And the basic problem about the water, I will talk about how we work in the water conservation program. But then I realized the women want empowerment, right? What is women empowerment for them, right? We use empowerment word like sustainability also, right? But they have to start earning money from their own house, right? They don't want to go out. This 10 rupees, if they earn from their own pocket, it is actually the changes happening. And so when we visited, so the women are sitting there, they're wearing this much gungat, and they want to do something from the house only because they can't move out, right? And so we do a lot of brainstorming session with them, what they want to do. And then we come to know about millets, right? We're talking about the millets and how the women's make a bajra cookies out of this. And today when I saw them selling the product, the gungat has come from here to here, right? For me, that empowerment take place like that, right? For me, not how much they're earning right now, how much they are giving time, but how much confidence they're having right now. They're selling the product, sitting on the exhibition, and the gungat is up, right? So that is important from your grassroots to boardrooms experience. And I am happy because I am always visiting, right? Not
Hmm.
sitting in the office. You can connect with the community, you understand their requirement, and today also they can call me anytime. That is a connection I built with them.
Hmm. You just mentioned about water, and we are sitting in the middle of Mumbai rains right now. And I was just
Right.
reading a risk report, Shreya, which the WEF had published at the beginning of this year. And they had
Yeah.
done what is the largest or what is the highest risk that every country's economy faces. And while all across the world, the number one was disinformation and misinformation. But in India, the highest was drinking water. And I know that you've done a lot of work on that front. So I would want to first educate us, what is this crisis all about? And then tell us about the kind of work that you have done. First, tell us, what is this crisis all about? Because those of us who get running water never really understand that what is the kind of problem or challenge that we're sitting on.
So I always feel that India, we are very blessed actually. We have a very good rainfall. The problem with the very good rainfall, we don't know how to capture and where to capture the water. Right? If we can see right now, see it's like journey started when I was a Bisleri. I work with the Bisleri, and my learning and experience with working with our RJC like Mr. Ramesh Chauhan, and I really appreciate and I really learned a lot of from him. Right? We have a very good rainfall, but we don't know how to capture and where to store the water. Just imagine right now the whole water is going where into the sea, right? Can we create certain capacity where we can save the rainwater? For example, I always believe that all the Mumbai buildings, if they have the rainwater harvesting structure, they can collect the rainwater, having the one storage capacity for the rainwater. How much problem we can resolve? Why should we take the water from the location where they are having the crisis in Maharashtra? The water coming from the other what is the place where like the lakes are there, right? We're taking the water from the Mumbai, right? And the particular community facing the lots of issues. But we can think about that. So see, my water conservation process, I work with endlessly with so many states. So Maharashtra and Rajasthan, I can give the example. Maharashtra having a very good rainfall. So we work on the structural development program where we restore the check dams. We created the lake restoration program. In Rajasthan, we don't have the water, they have the water crisis, so we created a roof rainwater harvesting structures, right? And both can be together because see, there is in Maharashtra, if you can visit Western Ghat in Mumbai, Pune, in that particular lane, right? It's all the hilly area. You can accumulate the water, creating the structures, and that water can use during the rainy season. After that, they can use for the farming and all. So I always believe when we work on water conservation, you're not only the conserving the water, you're conserving the life of the people also, because it's interconnected.
So when you talk about all these projects that you've done, help us understand actually check dams and what are these things and how is it actually done? Are these structures already in place or these are new structures which are created?
So see, you can work on different structures. See, rainwater water conservation, you can either restore the structures where you talk about circular economy. In Maharashtra, we have when the green revolution has happened, right? So many structures created by the government of Maharashtra. But after so many years, nobody do the maintenance and all, right? So we can restructure that maintenance, the structures, right? You can create some of the structure where you can conserve the rainwater. The lakes are very good, right? But the problem, अगर हमने देखो जितने भी लेक हमारे पास है, right? Nobody remove the
Built.
clutch inside, right? You need to clean the lake also, right? That also you can work on this. Apart from that, you know that some of the spring also there, right? How we can clean that water spring also. So many structures already there. We have to just refurnish or restructure, or but that's creating the more structures. You need to take the permission from the government, right? Some engineers and all, and it is a huge process, right? But I think in CSR, most of the people working on the structure where you can rebuild or restructure that restoration of the check dams and all.
Okay, okay, okay. So now, having worked for so many years, I know you've also got huge number of recognition. What does actually recognition mean to you? Since I also live in Navi Mumbai, and I know that you've also been recognized over here at the district level, and also you got invited into the UN to speak. So, what does true recognition mean to you? What does it mean to you as a professional?
See, over the years, I have been humbled to receive so many several awards for my work, including like this year I got from the Maharashtra Government Women Commission Award. But for me, yes, award is more important for the just recognition, right? You want the encouragement to work. Each recognition is precious because it represent encourage and trust. But to me, the greatest recognition, not trophy or certificate. When somebody told me that because of your initiative, we are changed our life, right? I still remember when I went to the Nasik when we did a drip irrigation project and all, right? The farmers say, because of our initiative now, I don't have to go out for the, work outside. I can be with my own village, right? That is recognition for me. So when I completed Green Army initiatives and when student talk about that, right? We are the savior of the mother earth, right? We can change our life. That is the great reward for me. I think recognition truly matters, but the life change and hope restore when you receive this kind of actual people. Like I will give an example. Like I told you that how my life has changed because somebody helped me to complete my education, right? And when I help one girl and she completed a master in social work and she's working in a good company, right? For recognition for me, that is one thing, right? She always tells, Tai, I want to become like you. And when she become like me, I told her that please, you can give the same thing with other girls who can become like you. And that is my, I think, greatest award till today.
Paid it forward, actually.
Yeah.
So, tell us some of the stories of gratifications so that those of us, organizations who are actually carrying CSR projects, feel good that that's the kind of impact which at the grassroots all these projects are making for the person at the end of the line.
See, okay, recently I will just give you one story. So last month only, if you know the Rajasthan Barmer having a lot of different issues and all, right? And the interior parts of the near the Pakistan and India border, we identify five schools where there is a no electricity connections and all. And under the SLB CSR, so we have roof. So we have solar panel installation with it, right? And I have to travel more than 500 kilometer to go to the schools and all. And so we did one opening ceremony, one of the school, and everybody was gathered there. The government officials, school principal, and they're really happy because the electricity reached there, and now kids can study. So I told them that okay, now I can go to the another school. So they told no, 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 it's enough time. 3:30 kids will be not there, right? So why you are traveling so much 200 kilometers from that particular school? But I thought no, I need to visit and I would need to see the change what I did, particular that school with the help of the Shambhaji. So I reach around 6:30 or 6 o'clock in that particular school. It's nearby border. Okay, the base camp was there, military was there, and I visited around 6:30, 7 o'clock that time. And when I entered to the school, I saw 7, 8 kids from 7th and 10th grade was studying there. Okay, so I asked how you can be in the school premises. They said, "Madam, light आ गया है ना, तो हम पढ़ाई के लिए आए, घर पे लाइट नहीं है, सो हम स्कूल में आते हैं, अब हम पढ़ाई कर सकते हैं." That is Swapnalekha. I feel so much. I don't have word
Joy.
to express. Right?
Joy,
My
actually.
project is completed there, where the kids are coming to the school and studying till eight, the night also, because they don't have the electricity at their house. Right now, the school having the electricity. So that really feel that, right, when we will work on the CSR, don't think about the project or impact, like a big impact, but if we can change one life also, right, you are doing best for the community. The CSR leader should understand the need from the grassroots, and you should very proactive talk with the boardroom also. Your project has to align with your business perspective, but end of the day has to reach to the last mile where the actual help is required.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that it's important to track numbers because CSR tracks a lot of numbers, but actually the real impact lies much beyond the numbers. That every life moved is an impact made, is what you say. Have you ever faced challenges in as you work on the CSR side? Have you had challenges where you've had to you were in a conflict situation with the management and then you had to do an influencing to make things happen?
See, I think when you are in a CSR position, you are always in the middle, right? You need to understand the stakeholder management. You need to understand the community requirement. You need to understand the boardroom. You need to understand the thought process and the global goals also, right? But I think when you align, like I'm really happy to share my experience, very positive, right, throughout this year, because the way I put forward my all the project to the management, and I'm giving the examples, not sitting in the only the office, but when I'm visiting, I have the stories behind me, right? When I shared with them the what is the requirement, and then I I think challenge is always there, but then I think you should be having that passion to explain them why you want to do this project, how this project can change. I think CSR, again, creating the brand value for your organization. When you're exactly working for the community, you don't need to spend money on the marketing strategy. I always believe as an individual, right? You should create some life changes experience to the others, right? And they are become your stakeholder. They can talk about your organization. I will give you one example. I was in Assam in Northeast, right? And when we work with the our digital classrooms, and when I coming from that particular school, the teacher told me, "Thank you, ma'am, because of your initiative. Now our students know how to use the computers and laptops, right?" And that is again, see. giving the laptop, giving the digital classroom, but how the story can, woven into the future. That is the most important, I believe. And thanks to all where I work with all the organizations or the corporate houses who supported me to implement this project. And so we received the award for our Green Army initiative as well as our robotic skill development program because of the
So
management and because of the.
yeah, so CSR today has it's become a very interdisciplinary field. So you have people from finance coming in, from human resources coming in. How has your being a social worker uh, really impacted on the lens that you use to do your work, and how important is it for CSR to actually have professional social workers?
That is a really valid question. I believe that most of the CSR professional who are coming from the MSW background or social work background, right? So they know the what exactly required from the communities, right? So we understand that level also where the requirement is there. Like for example, when I talk about a Green Army initiative, talk about robotic skill development program, women in violence, because see, in our education, we study all these things, right? And CSR is a bridge between that. See, when you understand the requirement, you need the fund. You have to just allocate together, right? So many non-government organizations working such a good work, right? We need to just align with our funds with them. We are actually the change maker, and you're privileged when you're sitting in the CSR manager position, right? So you need to align all together, right? You need to understand what is the requirement. So many good NGOs are working in the grassroots. We need to identify first them. We can help as a CSR professionals. So, like for example, I try to help most of the NGOs because they did a good work, but they don't have the capacity. But we can work together to creating the proposal, to creating the project, and then we can show the changes. And that's why more successful CSR leaders coming from the social work background, if we can see CSR fraternity, like most of the people who are heading the good position coming from the social development sector itself.
Hmm. So that means as a CSR professional, you've also helped in capacity building of social organizations, because I think that's like a big agenda that they have with them. They lack the professional bandwidth to manage things. Their hearts are in the right place. They have the capability. They have the intent. They have the capability to deliver on what they promise, but they probably don't put it together as a good story proposal. What about budgets and finances? How do you learn and understand and skill yourself on that?
See, budget and finance, when we worked, see, again, I'm just telling, when you work 10 years with the non-government sectors and 12 years with the corporate sector, so I know what is the balance should be there, right? And I think budget is like very crucial part because I always calculate it for myself, right? Whenever I
Hmm.
receive the budget, I don't only like what the NGO what proposed to me. I sit with them. I ask each and every question. Okay, how much you're using, where you are using, how your human resource will be working for the 7 hours and 8 hours, right? And when we work together, I think the CSR professional and non-government organization. So budget is always perfect, right? I don't only always always don't think about what I received, right? I sit together with the NGOs. I drafted the budget together. And that's the reason the budget values and everything on time, they can complete the project. Sometimes I told them, "Arey, you will not complete within 6 months. I know that." They said, no, no, we can complete within 6 months because I have the expertise. I don't know. 1 month, you will take time to at least interaction with the school principal and all, right? Maybe you can start after second month. So don't include that first month for your project implementation part. Keep 1 month extra for your evaluation and monitoring visits. So this kind of, so that's the reason I think my all my project I work with the NGOs are successful, completed on timelines, and I'm really happy I can complete the project because I think CSR manager, I don't only giving the funds, right? As a company, we work together. As a partnership is not only a donor or client relationship. It's basically that we will work together to change the community, to change the society, to change the world perspective on social work. And that's, I believe, and that's why we work very closely with the non-government organization, with their teams also. Like, I think I always believe that those working in the ground also they connected with me. I told them if you have any problem, anytime you can call me. If I'm available, I will take your call. I will guide you that whom to talk. I will give one example. So when we work with the Green Army initiatives and one of the our projects, so they don't get the permission from the uh, Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation. So I told them, no worry, I will come with you. Okay. So don't think that I'm sitting in the head and I will not. I will come on the ground. We'll talk with the commissioner. We'll take the permission. So I think that's the reason I work very closely with the grassroots and the management. And today, whatever I am doing for the community, it's what I learned and I'm doing.
So I have a question. Like many people who are watching right now, who might be watching later on, and hear you speak because now you're a CSR leader. Tell us, if somebody is coming from the social work realm, what are the kind of attitudinal shifts or skills that they need to build in to become a successful CSR professional? Also, tell us if somebody, because often what happens, Shreya, I have seen in organizations, a finance person or an HR person is actually given a double responsibility of taking on the CSR mandate also. So, what are the kind of exposure, skills, and things they need to have in mind as they build themselves into successful CSR professionals? One thing which I want to table and I've understood and I reiterate is that you have to have partnerships with NGOs and not work in a kind of a vendor relationship, not like a provider, service provider relationship. You have to work with them to make things happen. So you've been in CSR for a very long time. Tell us the kind of, say, for example, if you had to tell a finance, a CFO who's taken on an additional responsibilities, what is it that they ought to look out for? Somebody in HR who's taken on, a young person who's moved from social work into CSR as a team member.
So see, I think the same question so many people ask me when they come to meet me also, right? But I think they are giving the responsibility, right? They should understand the empathy. See, we have a basic principle of the social work, what when we study in our classrooms, right? Non-judgmental attitude, acceptance, right? Every individual is unique. So these are the basic principle you should having inbuilt when you work, right? Don't generalize your statement with the like. So for example, you have the one NGOs having a lot of problem. It's not mean that other NGOs will be the similar, right? You accept individuality, right? You understand each and everyone having their own strength as the NGOs. One NGOs can work very good in women empowerment project. Second will not, right? Because expertise align with them. Can we work together? Like, for example, whenever I plan my project, I identify the NGOs who's having the expertise, right? If they don't have the expertise, you don't have to give work with them directly, right? You need to train them. If suppose you want to work with that particular NGOs, you work with closely with them. That is the one thing. See, and other thing, see, the empathy or sympathy has to come from your heart, right? You can't teach anyone, right? What I believe, right? When you work in social development sector, when you are in this position, you need to understand the pain behind the communities, right? And you can align with your CSR budget. So,
I
yeah,
hear you. So empathy, you're saying that can't be taught. I agree, but if in case professionals were to spend more time at the grassroots level, do you think it will help them to develop empathy? That's something which is very
I
important.
think
If you stay in your at your desk, then you can't really.
yeah, but I think when you are sitting on the particular table, I think you more to visit the community, talk with the people, connect with them. You can understand better perspective, right? Because whenever I plan any project, I don't depend only the NGO what's proposed to me, right? I always visit particular at locations. I talk with the actual the beneficiaries, right? What they want and how their wants as defined in the MOU structures. So that is more important thing because see when you understand the real requirement from the community. For example, I will give you the like when I received the one proposal for one of the big organization to creating the farm ponds. Okay, the 40 farmers and all. So for me, okay, it's very easy. Na? Farm pond, it's mean that we have to give fund. So they will be having the structured. But when I visited with the particular village, and when I come to know during rainy season, they have very good rainfall because it's a hilly area in Nasik, one of the location. But after the rainfall, there's no water, right? When we supported them for the farm pond project, they have a second crop and third crop. How this small project can enhancing their economical stability. So when I come to know, when I visit to the particular village, I talk with the beneficiaries, and then that propose I forward to the management for the approval. Because till that time I have the whole the information about anybody ask me the question in the management, I know the answer. So you always connected with the grassroots. So maybe you will make sure that what answer you ought to give to the management during that time.
And that's a lesson for for social workers to come in and develop that skill, actually, to look at things in that way and present it to the management. So, in your personal and what should I say, life, how has it been now? What's your mother doing? What's your father doing? How has life changed from you, from where you began to where you are today?
So I always feel gratitude for my family who supported me. I'm the first person in my family who's a 10th, 12th graduate and postgraduate. Okay, I'm the first learner from my family. And my mother worked almost more than 40 years with the social development sector. Till today, she work actually. Till today, she can go for the counseling. My father worked with the Alcoholic Anonymous groups and all. Till age of the 75, he visit, do the home visit. And when he called me, because today the person is now
Out
he's
of.
coming from out of the alcohol and all. I'm really feel happy because it is our blood actually. Because I think we believe that when somebody help us to change our lives, it is now our responsibility to change others, right? And I'm really happy today, like my whole family in social work sectors, and they're working towards the change. And I think change happen from your own self. I always believe tu khud ko badal tabhi zamana badlega, tu bolegi मुंह खोलेगी तभी नया बदलाव आएगा. And I think it's badlav start from me, and I'm sitting in this position can change others life. So when I'm receiving this scholarship now, I know the importance of the scholarship for the girl child who want to become a doctor, engineer, different professionals coming from the acting and singing. You need to somebody has to support them, and when you give the small support, can change life of them.
So now, as a last parting question, I'd ask you, Shreya, it's been a long 2 decades of experience now. And from having earned 700 rupees a month to leading such multiple crore projects now, what is that you will leave as a message to every young girl probably coming across this conversation and listening to you speak?
See, my message to the young women is this: like, you are far stronger than you realize. I think every woman having her own strength, right? You need to just understand your own strength. Don't let your circumstances cage your dreams. Work hard, hold your dignity, and believe in your worth. It's my journey from scarcity to reading national programs teaches anything. It is that your story has a power to inspire, and you rise. Don't rise alone. Lift others with you. That is how change truly spreads. I think each and every female having her own strength. Just understand what is your strength, right? And some small push she required from the outside the world. I think then she can fly, and the sky is the limit for her.
So well said. I didn't want, but there's one more question. Given the kind of pressures and injustices that patriarchy serves to women, what is it that you would suggest for every woman to be aware of as she fights the system and moves on?
The fight always there, right? But don't think about it. This is my last fight. You need to understand your, again, I'm just telling again, strength, right? For me the cage was real, right? So maybe during that time when I say okay, I will just do my 10th or 12th and I can get married during, my family's having that kind of culture during that time. But then my dream was clear, right? During that time itself only, when somebody helped me to complete my 12th grade, I thought, why don't I help others, right? Not like a big amount, but at least talking with the girls, encouragement into girls, like, okay, you can complete your study. Not necessarily you want to get the 80 or 90 percentage, right? At least you can pass 12. Then you have other things also. Patriarchy is everywhere. Okay, you don't feel patriarchy coming from only the men, like the female also patriarchal if they have the power, right? And I always believe anybody, sorry, Anybody having the power, they can start misusing the power, right? So we need to closely work with them. The power game is like a big game. So and when you realize your own power within, right? The empower, it's mean, I think, within your power. And when you understand your own power, I think you can, so many examples. We are not me. I am the only small example in the world, right? So many success stories are there. I think we can think about the positivity, forgot about the negativity, and then you can move always whenever you are.
Thank you so much for saying all of that, because I think that many times very successful, many of us women start denying that there is patriarchy and the pressures are there. And then we actually become a part of the problem rather than a solution. To become a part of the solution, as you suggest, we need to do uh, our bit of helping other women come out of it. Even with a small conversation of telling them that you can do it. Many times women just lose hope. Even hearing it from somebody else that you can make it through itself can be enough. Sometimes it can be real help that you're doing it for that kid who's finished her MSW and has become a social worker today. It can be actively in terms of money, it could be guidance. I think that's a very powerful message. The only way change can be sustainable is that those of us who are beneficiaries of anything, it could be a CSR program, it could be for having parents who were very aware, or it could be plain destiny that it gave us a soft landing and we were able to do things. It's important that we feed forward, and that's the only way that change can really happen. So I'm therefore I think that you're so successful because of this attitude that you bring to the table of being rooted inside the community, however leveraging it to the best to make sure that CSR really creates an impact, and thinking like a leader as a woman. So more power to you, Shreya Sudhir, and I hope that you go on and change and move the world, and we see more and more success stories about you, and we bring you back again 5 years later to listen to all the many more things that you will do henceforth from here. So thank you so much for coming over, Shreya. I can never thank you enough. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you, Swapnalekha, giving this opportunity. And truly, like we all gender can come together to help each other, right? I don't have the gender this thing, but anyone who work together, if
Very
we help
true.
each other, we
Very true.
really going to rise. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.